Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be doing another crafter square kit that I got from the Dollar Tree. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today you guys are doing something different. I've actually never tried this before. I've seen so many of these kits at the Dollar Tree and I finally decided to get one. These are mini macrame wall decor kits. It includes 2 wood beads, 1 wood dowel, 1 macrame cord, and this is what it's supposed to look like. So this should be interesting. Okay, opening it up, of course they have warnings for all things, mostly for this plastic bag because it is a death trap. Okay, open this up, instructions are on the back. We have our dowel rod, we have our wooden bead, 2 of them, and we have our macrame. Oh my gosh, these things are going to be rolling around. Is that what's happening? Okay. And then we have our rope. So we're going to follow the instructions step by step. Cut 8 pieces of cord averagely. I'm assuming that's even Steven type deal. Okay, fold the first cord in half and hold the loop over the dowel. Add a bead and tie an overhand knot. Repeat step 1 until 6 knots are evenly placed across the dowel. Pull number 4 under cord 3 and number 2 over cord 1. Then pick up number 1. Wrap it over cord number 2 and number 3 and push it through the loop behind cord number 4. Alright, so we'll find out if that works. And there's no easy solve for me because I've never done these before. But I've done friendship bracelets and those weird box bracelets, so maybe I will be able to figure it out. Anyway, weave cord number 4 under. Okay, so this is all weaving. Pull the cords tight in. Repeat step 4 to 6. You should have 3 square knots at the end of the first row. I don't know, man. Okay. Alright, more stuff. And then take the cord, right hold diagonally, repeat the top loop. Process. Okay, add the bead and use the remaining last cord. Tie and wrap at the end of the bead. I don't know, unravel each cord with fingers. Okay, and that's it. And that's it. It's like all this weird language, and that's it. Okay, so let me just hold this down here. Alright. Cut 8 pieces averagely. It'd be nice if I can figure out. Okay. So, if we're going to cut 8 even pieces, obviously there's a way to do it to make sure they're all even Steven. Come on, people. Really? I guess. Right, this is unacceptable. Okay, here we go. We're gonna hold the 2 pieces together. Okay, and we're going to pull them at the same time so we can get the lengths to be the same. This is a very long piece of rope. Okay, just keep pulling, pulling, pulling. Till we get to the end. And we're gonna cut right down the middle. So then we just have to find the other end. And we're going to put those two together. Oh, it's not even, but close. Okay. And we're going to find that middle. And we're going to cut that. So now we have 4 strands, and now we're going to do it one more time for 8. So put all those ends together, and we're going to pull. And we're going to cut right down the middle. And now we have 8 averagely cords. Okay. So now it says to fold all the cords in half, or at least the first cord. Okay. So I have my first cord, and I'm folding it in half. Alright, and hold the loop over the dowel. Alright, it looks like it's a back loop, so we'll put it in back. Then it looks like we have the loops going through it like this. Okay. Pull this, slide this in the middle. Okay, so we have it all good to go. We're going to add our bead. Okay, so let's add our bead. And can you fit all of this in here? They should probably give you a stinking needle or something. Okay, twist this. I'm going to twist it. Twist and push. And twist in the direction of the threading, so that you don't unravel it and have a mess. It should be able to push easier through the bead. Okay, so we have the bead here, and then we're going to tie an overhand knot. I'm assuming this is the overhand knot. Leave a comment below, let me know what an overhand knot is. Probably look it up later. I want to try to tie this tight to the bead. Pull the individual strands just to make sure. Oh, I guess they don't do it like that. Nope, I already messed it up. Okay, well, after tying that tight, we're gonna unravel it. Oh my god. It looks like it's an inch apart. I feel like it should be tight though, because then this bead's just going to be rattling up and down, and it's going to loosen around the dowel. Right? Add a bead and tie it in an overhand knot. Let me just flip this instruction upside down for a second. Nope, that's just how it is. Okay. That's just crazy. It could slip out. What do I know? Okay. let's get back to this. So we're going to just tie an overhand knot about 1 inch away. Tighten the individual ones. Okay. Now that we have that, repeat step 1 until you have 6 knots evenly placed across the dowel. So we're going to do 3 on each side. So I'm going to grab one of my cords here, make sure that the end pieces are even Steven. And then I'm going to try to keep the same thing, so we have, oh, in the same direction, I mean. So we had this in the back here. I'm going to fish these two from the front to the back. And I'm going to try to well, it looks like it has it different. Alright, I should probably look at the illustrations more. So here they have them opposite. So I might cheat a little bit. I'm just going to undo this a little bit and I'm going to flip it off and on the dowel. Like that. So now magically we have it opposite from the first one we did. The loop is in the back underside, just like the illustration. Okay. Now let me get another cord here. Line up the edges. And I guess I'm going to go back to front. I'm going to go on this side just to keep things even, Steven. Pull this and try to keep it like the same level, if that makes any sense, so it's in line. Okay, I'm gonna grab another cord, get line up. Oh my gosh. Okay. Get line up. And again, we're going back to front. Going to try to pull a little bit of ways out to start with. We can move it later and make it in line with the one next to it. Okay. Get another cord. Line up even Steven. I'm going to go back to front. I'm going to pull this at the same distance as the other side and then line it up with the other ones. Okay. The other side now. Back to front. Same distance away from the other ones and in the same level. And one more time. I realize we have one strand extra, but they wanted you to cut 8 pieces. So I wonder what we're going to do with the 8th one. Yeah, other side, back to front. Okay, so we have our 6 here. All right, repeat steps 1 until 6 knots are evenly placed across the dowel. Now, it's crazy that they have you do this, but they don't really tell you which one to start with. So, just looking ahead, we can kind of see. So let's start with the middle piece. Let's put these 2 aside and let's put these 2 aside. So we have 1, 2, and we have 3 and 4. Okay, so pull 4 under cord 3, and over 2, under cord 3 and 2, and then over cord 1. So we have that. Now, then pick up 1 here and wrap it over cord 2 and 3 and push it behind cord 4. So here's cord 4. Alright, so here we have cord 4 is under 3 and 2 and then over 1. Then you're supposed to grab 1 and put it over 2 and 3, and then we're pushing this under cord 4 like that. Okay. So I don't know if that means we're tightening this, but I'm just going to leave it loose for now, just to make sure. I want to read the next step ahead. So now it's saying weave cord 4 under 3 and 2. So this is 2, and then this is 3, 2 and 3. It's under it. And we've cord 4 under 3 and 2 and then over 1. Okay, so we're just going to do over 1. Then we're going to pull cord 1 over cord 2 and 3. So over 3 and 2. And then we're going to through the loop behind cord 4. Okay, cord 4. So we have this weird weaving going on here, as you can see. Pull the cords to tighten and square off the knot. So we're going to start with the top here. We're just going to pull this, make sure our 2 and 3 are nice and straight, but I'm just gonna, it says tight. It says tighten. Okay, let's start with that for now. I can always tighten it later. Okay, then we're pulling the bottom part of that. Just make sure that 2 and 3 are straight. So I guess I should have tightened the top ones. Tighten the top ones as much as it can be tightened. And then tighten the bottom ones as much as it can be tightened, while also making 2 and 3 straight. So we have that. And when it's like square off the knot, so we have to just make sure that it looks, in this case, a rectangle, not really a square. Okay. Now repeat steps 4 to 6. You should have 3 square knots at the end of each row. Okay. Okay. And we're going to try to maintain equal distance for each one. Okay, so set those aside. I'm going to focus on these strands here. So we have 1, 2, 3, and we have 4. Now we're taking 4, putting it under 2 and 3, and over 1. Now I'm grabbing 1, putting it over 2 and 3, but behind 4 and through it. And then on this side, we're taking 4, we're putting it under 2 and 3, and over 1. Oops. And then we're taking 1 over 2 and 3, and under 4, but through it, like that. So we're going to tighten this up like we did the last one. Make sure 2 and 3 are straight. Okay, we've got that. Then we're going to tighten the bottom part. Make sure that 2 and 3 are straight. Okay. So we have this set, and then we're going to do this set. Just make sure that these are retightened. And somewhat the same distance. Now we're just going to focus on these. Okay, we've got strand 1, strand 2, strand 3, and strand 4. Okay, again, like we did, taking 4, putting it under 2 and 3. Then grabbing 1, putting it over 2 and 3, but behind 4 and through it. Okay, then we're grabbing 4, putting this under 2 and 3, and over 1. Then we're going to grab 1, do it over 2 and 3, but behind and through 4. Okay, now we're just going to tighten this up. Make sure turn 2 and 3 are straight. Okay, I'm going to do these ones. Make sure 2 and 3 are straight. Okay, so now we have our first row that they were talking about. And we have 3 of them. Okay, repeat steps 4 to 6. You should have 3 square knots at the end of the first row. Okay. Leave the first 2 cords unworked on both sides. Repeat 4 to 6, and you should have 2 square knots at the end of each row. So let's automatically remove. This would be 4 and 2 on this side, or 4 and 3 on this side. This will be 1 on 2 on this side, and then we have to repeat the steps 4 and 6 for these 2 bags right here. So let's start with the left one first. So we have strands 1, 2, 3, 4. I would, definitely call out your strand numbers so that in your head you already know what you're gonna be working with. So we're taking we're taking 4 and we're putting it under 2 and 3 over 1. Okay. Then we're gonna take 1 over 2 and 3, but under 4 and through it. Okay. Then we're going to take we're going to take 4 again, do under 2 and 3 and over 1. Then we're going to grab 1 and go over 2 and 3, but under 4 and through it. Okay, so now we're going to tighten this up again. You want to make sure that 2 and 3 are nice and straight. Tighten this up, pulling this straight. Okay, then we're going to do the bottom one. Again, make sure 2 and 3 are straight. Okay, so we got that. Now we're going to work on the right one. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to take 4 over 2 and 3 and under 1. Then we're going to take 1, go over 2 and 3, but behind 4 and through it. And then we're going to take 4 again, go under 2 and 3, over 1. Then we're going to take 1, go over 2 and 3, but behind 4 and through it. So now we're going to take, did I really do this right? Let me start over because I can't find my knots. They should make these different colors. Okay. 2 and 3. Under 2 and 3. Right, I'm going to try to make sure I spot my little parts here. Over 1. Then 1 over 2 and 3, but under 4 and through it. Okay, so I've got my first one here. Now I'm taking 4, going under 2 and 3, and over 1. So I got my right there. So taking 1 over 2 and 3, but behind 4 and through it. Alright, so now I have my bottoms. Okay, now I can pull my top, make sure that 2 and 3 are straight. Then I'm going to pull my bottom, make sure that 2 and 3 are straight. Okay. Now I'm just gonna tighten things up a bit, make sure everything is nice and secure, and that gaps are closed. Okay, so I have this now, as you see here. Okay, leave the first 2 cords unworked on both sides, repeat steps 4 and 6, and you should have 2 square knots at the end of the second row. Okay, got that. Now next we have repeat steps 4 through 6, you should have 1 square knot at the end of the third row. So we're pretty much going to take this now and we're going to work on the first 4 strands here. So we're going to set aside these 4, set aside these 4, then we have these 4. Okay, and we're going to number it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to take 4, go underneath 2 and 3. Okay, then we have 1 going over 2 and 3, but going under 4 and through it. So we go first here. We have strand 4 going under 2 and 3, but over 1. Then we're going to take 1, go over 2 and 3, but under 4 and through it. So now we have our second set there. I'm going to pull the first one on top. We're going to keep strands 2 and 3 straight. Okay, then I'm going to pull the bottom part, make sure 2 and 3 are straight. Okay. Now we have that. just dropped my bead. Okay. Now, next steps. Hold first cord over the next as shown. Bring 2 cord up through the loop and pull cords close to the loop against the first knot. Right, so we're going to use these 2. And what it says to do, hold the first cord over the next as shown. Bring the second cord up through the loop and pull the cord close to close the loop. Okay, in case you didn't see that, so we have like a little figure 4 here we're doing, just so you can see it, and it's right over the second one. I'm going to take the second one and put it under and through the first one like this. Okay, and we're going to pull it I don't know how tightly. It doesn't say how tight you gotta do these things, but let's see on the other side. I mean, fairly tightly then. Okay. So fairly tightly. Okay. Now what? Use the same cord and repeat step 10 again. So, 4 mark under the second cord. I'm going to put this under and we're going to pull it. Okay. Repeat step 10 and 11 with the first and 3 cord. Continue wrapping each cord around the holding cord until it goes diagonally to the center. Okay, so that would be up to here. Okay, so let's just continue tying this guy. I mean, this is kind of strange. I still haven't really understood what you're pulling. I guess you're pulling it like this. Okay, and I guess you do it again. Okay. At the center yet? Oh, one more. Okay, so I got to the center. It's very strange. I don't really like what I did, but anyway. Okay, repeat step 10 through 11 with the first and 3 cord. Continue wrapping cord around the holding cord. Okay, diagonal it to the center. Then let's move over some instructions. I'm going to try to get into focus here. Okay. Take the last cord on the right, hold diagonally, and repeat the loop process of step 10 through 12. Okay. So we can set aside this, and we're working with these strands now. Okay. So like we did on this side, we're just gonna do the opposite. So I'm gonna do a I guess looks like a backwards 4, and I'm going to go up and under, and I'm just gonna, we're pulling this end last cord straight, and we're just tightening up the knot. Okay, and then we're going to do it again. So tightening, and then you're going to want to pull this one, so however tight you can get that. I'm going to move on to the next strand here. Figure 4, backwards 4, up and back. Okay, we're going to keep this one taut. I'm going to do it again. Backwards 4, up and under. Pull this one taut. Okay. Next strand. Figure 4, up and under. Pull. Okay. Figure 4, up and under. Next strand, figure 4, up and back or under, pull this. Okay. Do it again. The last strand. So I've got both sides. Let me try to pull it. The knots are somewhat tight. Okay. I don't like that it doesn't tell you how far you should be having these knots, because right now to me it looks sloppy. Okay. Take the last cord on the right, hold diagonally, and repeat the loop process of step 10 through 12. So now step 14, we have to add a bead and use remaining last cord to tie and wrap the end of the bead. And it doesn't tell you what strands, but there's no way you're going to fit all the strands in here, so I'm guessing we're going to use 2. So you want to use the 2 that was the last ones here, and I'm just going to cut this even so that it's easier for me. Or you know what? I think it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to start fishing this in, and like we did before, I think it's easier if you can twist it in the direction of the weave. I already have some loose bits coming out, but trying to get everything into that hole and then twisting in the direction of the weave and pushing it at the same time should help you feed the cord through the bead. As you see, it's like slowly coming out through the other side, and then you can just pull that out. I'm going to pull this up here, and then the remaining last cord to tie and wrap the end of the bead. So let's see. Add the bead and use the remaining last cord. Oh, so it's this 8th piece, I was wondering. I guess this is all about trying to make it nice. Now that we know what's going on, kinda, I'm just gonna flip this to the other side. Alright, so it's got it kind of loose and stuff, but I'm just gonna bunch this up like this. Okay, and then I'm going to take the remaining and we're gonna tie and wrap like it said. So I'm just gonna use a tie and I'm gonna try to pull these kind of out to make it to where it'll lie flat. Oh man. Okay. Okay, then I'm going to take the rope and I'm gonna wrap it around everything. I'm gonna try to wrap it neat. I mean, this looks kind of horrible. Does it say how many times? Looks like they did 5. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this loop loose, still wrap it, but I'm going to stick it through the loop like this, and I'm going to pull this one tight. I guess we can hide this in the back. Yeah, keep pulling it tight until it is secure. And then you can try to manipulate these cords to make it look nice around the bead. Yeah, so we have that now. Everything's nice and tied. I think we can cut this guy short. Okay, so we have it nice and dangly. We have our piece here. Then it looks like they cut it a bit, so I don't know. Got my little measuring thing. So 1, 2. For now, let's do 3 inches. So we can cut this here. Now for this last part, I'm going to time lapse it and unravel each cord. Okay, you guys, so this is it. They have different kinds of designs. They even have ones with different colors. So let me know in the comments below if you've gone to a Dollar Tree near you and found any of these. So it's not that bad, you know, like it's a simple, well, I wouldn't say simple, but it's a nice small kit to do, and then you have something pretty of decent size to hang at a window or something. But yeah, I think it doesn't really tell you spacing wise what it should look like. It's kind of bunching. I probably shouldn't have put it this far up. Or I guess I had it like that. I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've did this kit. But yeah, that was nice and fun and short. I do have a bunch of other kits that I'm going to be getting through with the Dollar Tree, so keep a lookout. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to do. Just leave it in an email with some pictures or something, or comment below. Maybe I could try to find it. But you know, everybody's Dollar Tree is so different. I have to go far and wide to find some of these. And it's slim pickings every time, so I think an email with instructions, if you have it, are better if you don't want me to if you don't want to have to wait for me to find it on my own. But anyway, thank you so much, you guys, for watching. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and join me again for the next kits. I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.